Hey guys, I wanted to do kind of a little video version of a newsletter I sent out recently because I think, well, here's the real reason. My husband Abe took a look at the newsletter I sent out last week, and he goes, "Babe, that's way too long. People aren't going to read all that." I'm like, "What do you mean? People, I love words. Words are my friend. Words are my love language. I love long paragraphs." And he's like, "Not everyone loves long paragraphs, babe." So, yeah, last week's newsletter was, yeah, it was a little bit long because it was real newsy as in I've got some news this time. I've got some music news. We released a new video recently of the song Disarm. There's a really cool story behind it, which I'd love for you to take a look at. It's on YouTube. It's also on my Facebook page, and I'll link it to this newsletter. But really, I wanted to kind of share my heart about the fact that my life has taken this really interesting new direction in the last couple of years, and that is, um, you know, some of you may know our daughter came out about 2 years ago. No, sorry, about almost 10 years ago now. Our daughter came out as gay, and it was a real shock to us, to put it mildly. She and she and my son both were, raised in this sort of conservative Christian evangelical house, just like my husband and I were. And it's just not something we were prepared for or expected. And so it's been a real process, just coming to terms with it, understanding it. Um, and yeah, so, and we aren't the only family that's going through this or has gone through it. And I realized that I wanted to talk more about it, but I didn't really know how. I just started writing about 2 years ago because publicly it didn't feel like the right place to start talking about such personal, private kind of things. But I began writing just almost like as catharsis or a therapy. And I finished a whole book about it and thought at first, well, maybe the book is just for me and maybe it's just for our family to have as a memoir of what we've gone through. But it felt like, no, it might be one of those books that other parents might get some insight or comfort or inspiration from. So I just took some baby steps around the beginning of this year to see if anyone was interested in maybe publishing it. And one of the top literary agents in Christian publishing really, really loved the book and said I would like to represent it and I'd like to pitch it to publishers. So that's happening this fall. She's going to be starting to pitch it to publishers, and it might go nowhere. I'm excited, and I'm also just like super realistic. Like, okay, this is a pretty divisive, sensitive topic. It's not really a popular one among Christians right now, but I think more people are talking about it, and I think more parents want to hear other stories to feel less alone and isolated. And so it could be one of those things that does pick up and does get into people's hands, and that's my prayer. And so I'm letting my newsletter folks know first, just because I want you to know what's been going on in my life and what I've been doing, and also just so you know why I've been talking a little bit more publicly about this issue. I do want this to be something that people talk more about, because I think there are families that are incredibly lonely. I think there are kids who are incredibly marginalized and ostracized and devastated and don't really exactly know how to reconcile their upbringing with who they are. And so all of that to say that I'll be talking a little bit more about the book in the coming months and in the newsletter. But I wanted you guys to know first, and I'm going to be sending you some excerpts of the book so you can get a little taste of it. And I would really appreciate your prayers and your support and just your continued friendship as I walk through this next sort of phase, of whatever is coming. And I also want to keep you up on, music news and concerts and speaking events. So all of that's still happening as well. I wanted to personally just thank you for being a part of my newsletter team and my community and my tribe. And just to let you know that this is where I feel a definite nudge to begin exploring right now. So thank you. And maybe I'll mix up the newsletter writing word stuff with more video if that seems like a good plan. Have a great rest of your week, and bless you guys. Bye-bye.